I just love guitars. I mean, ever since I saw Hank Marvin in 1961 or whatever, playing Apache on the Stratocaster, I just the shape of them and there's just something about the guitar. It's a wonderful thing. So when I found I wasn't really playing so much anymore, I kind of let it go really and slowed down a bit. Fingers are a bit, getting a bit deaf, and I just thought, well, my way of staying involved with guitars is if I'm not playing them, I'll make them. And I thought, well, I reckon I can do it, So here we are, It's very, very complicated, and every guitar maker has their opinions, strongly held very often about what's good and what's bad, and which bits of the process are the most important people say, well, the material of the body is as important as this, or the material the neck's made of. For me, and I think majority of guitar makers say that the top is the most important thing. That defines the sound. Everything else can colour it. But how you finish off that top, how thick it is, where you put the reinforcing struts inside, and how you shape them. Most people say that is the number one factor. Other people say, "Oh, but you've made the neck out of the wrong material. It's ruined the sound." I say, "Well, I don't agree." But there's a lot of sometimes people get quite sort of fierce about it. A lot of opinions, and some of them strongly held.
Knowing how many hours have gone into making the instrument is kind of it's a parallel to how many hours the player puts in to practicing for a performance. Nick works in millimeters, and he has all of his tools which are also handmade. So it's then it goes back to the tools that had been made before this guitar, and it's such a pleasure to play them because they are just beautiful, and each one is so individual, and it feels like you're playing a different personality, which is just a really satisfying and amazing thing.
People are drawn to making things because, as so much of our world becomes more and more about looking at a screen and whether you're making something or just controlling something or whatever, or just human beings like to feel that they're still doing something that involves maybe their hands. I like using hand tools, and they don't make any noise. A lot of it, if you use a plane, it's quiet. You get to hear the sort of hissing of the plane on the wood, and it's nice. I've got nothing against using automation. Fantastic, but I just don't know how to do it. I think there will always be some jobs that you still need people to actually do. Probably even, plumbing, for instance. I don't think you're going to get robots fixing a loo.
Humans love wood as a raw material, and I fell in love with it very early on. So almost anything I do with a piece of wood, including sawing up the firewood, is a joy, really. And it's kind of like, I don't know, geologists probably have the same thrill. You chip away at something and you're seeing a surface that no one's ever seen before, and you are revealing something quite wonderful.
I think great instruments are instruments that really speak. And to build a good instrument, you've got to have two things. Obviously, whether you're building a violin or a guitar, you've got to be a great woodworker. And you've got to know the principles of the acoustics of those instruments and how they work. But then you've got to have this innate idea of what you want your instrument to sound like, and be able to tap the wood and make the struttings in such a way that the instrument works in a very personal way. So, for example, a Nick Branwell guitar is very personal. A Ramirez guitar is very personal. They're very different, just like we're all different. We're different as players and we're different as makers. So it's as an individual thing. And the great guitars are the ones that really speak with that personality.
For me, nothing is ever going to replicate the handmade guitars that you get from individual makers, because the bracing inside can be different. The wood is sourced, individually from different places, and they go and they tap it and do whatever they do and feel the vibrations through the wood, and they choose what they want to build. Yeah, you kind of share that beauty with the maker, which is really nice.
There's two processes I really enjoy. One is making the top, like I said before, which is the heart of the thing. Also carving the necks. I love carving the neck. That's a lovely process. But when the thing's finished, more than when it's finished, I can sort of sit back and say, "Oh, isn't that lovely?" Or I hand it over, and it's when it's being played, and sitting in the audience and hearing it. That for me that's probably the best bit, because I've got somebody not just saying, "Oh, that looks nice," but somebody who's playing it and getting the very best out of it. And I'm thinking, well, a job done, and that's really nice. That's my favourite bit, I think, of all. Because guitars are made to be played, and whereas works of art are made to be looked at, or walked around, or touched possibly. But if a guitar's sitting in the corner in its box, it's just sitting there, so play me, play me, play me. But when a good player's out there with it, that's the thing. That's what it's about.